everyone, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Big Picture,
where we help you see,
Think and Act Big. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Joe, and we have a very handsome guest.
And handsome guest. Hi, Eddie.
Hello guys.
And as you can see, we're in a new location now. I'm very comfortable in this couch. I would like to bring this home with me. Just a little intro, guys. Eddie here is a friend of ours, and he's the CEO of Micab.
Yes.
And we will tell you more about Micab and more about him in the next part of this episode. So please stay tuned. But before that, Dave, can you just update everybody what's about your life? So business also.
Yeah, so it's been a rough week for me. I've been traveling a lot once again.
Is that for business or pleasure?
It's always
Pleasure.
for pleasure. So I've been to Samar last weekend, and I'm planning to go to Taiwan next week.
Wow.
So yes,
So
just
Dave's
enjoying
Dave's
life,
pocket is very thick.
No,
Apparently he can travel like
I'm
every
still
month.
testing out one of the episodes that we mentioned,
Yeah, I
right,
know.
about traveling. And, you do what successful people do. So
Right.
you travel a lot. I don't know. I just want to travel and make an excuse about it.
Good, that's good.
So that's an update for me.
Well, it's a very productive travel also, because I think 2 or 3 of the episodes of the Big Picture was actually out of that travel. So that was really good. In my end, still busy as usual with business and with meeting new friends and new people, and really reaching out to new people that we can interview and bring into this podcast. Like, how about you, Eddie? I'm pretty sure you're very busy and traveling also.
Yeah, just got here in Cebu this week actually, so perfect timing for
Yeah.
me to meet you guys.
We have to align the stars for the 3 of us to meet, so that we can bring in
This was very
this episode.
This was destiny.
This is destiny, right?
Before anything else, Joe, maybe you want to introduce our
Yeah.
guest here.
So, on a personal note, I'd like to introduce Eddie, because now I do some consulting work in University of the Philippines, the TBI, or the Technology Business Incubation, and Eddie we call them locators. They're the guys who is there running their business in that place. And I met him because I decided to meet every single person in that place, and then we met each other. I didn't know who Eddie was back then. I only know that he is the CEO of Micab. But then he said, like, we know each other actually, and then we realized, like, oh my goodness, that's why he looks so familiar. We actually worked together in one of the Fortune 500 companies. He was, what were you doing back then?
I was your intern
Oh
actually.
yeah, he was my intern, and I'm so surprised.
It's amazing how the world turned.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm an intern. Yeah, so I'm so surprised, but at the same time, really happy to see you. That you're in this space wherein you're able to create and bring new ideas into the world and business to the country. So I'm excited when we talk. And then Dave, what happened in that meeting was he shared to me all the their plans for the future. And I can say, I'm envious. He's really working on stuff that matters, and he really is working on things that I hope I would have worked on. But well, it's nice. It's nice.
No, I'm super excited.
Are
I
you?
hope the guests are excited.
That's
to
my
know
role
more.
here. I'm hyping the episodes.
No, I want to know more about Eddie.
Right.
So let's-
So Eddie, fill us the gaps from that when you were doing internship, and then, or maybe you can do
that was a
backup.
regular employment.
internship.
Internship.
I'm
You
still
were-
at school, like
you were at
college.
school?
Yeah.
What
Oh
university?
yeah.
Cebu Institute of Technology.
CIT, yes.
Cebu
Right.
Institute, yeah.
So he was there from
There.
CIT. I was there. I was doing. I thought that work that matters.
He was my
Just
team lead. He was my team lead before. Yeah.
All right. So-
My boss.
No, not anymore. So the tide has turned.
So
But anyway,
yeah,
just fill us
fill
the
up-
gap.
fill in the-
Give us your origin story.
Yeah. It's basically, before starting my own startup, I used to, well, at that time, I'm an IT student at that time at Cebu Institute of Technology. And then after that, I'm employed as an web developer. I started as a web developer, and then I manage a team. I become the research and development manager for that company.
Yeah.
And
How
then,
long were you working before?
Year was
Uh,
this again?
Yeah.
2007, yeah,
Mhm.
2007, yeah. I started the company Micab 2012, but at that time I'm still this is I have a day job, and Micab is like a
On the side,
side
side
on
hustle.
the side. Yeah.
Right. So can you talk about Micab a little bit? Why did you started it? What's the motivation?
Yeah, because back then my work, like I need to travel all the time, and then the problem is like it's really very hard to get a cab. So that's my main problem. Like I travel at the morning, and then what I do, I ride a jeepney with my luggage, and then go to a place where the cabs are like there's a cab, and then I ride a cab, so it's very hard for me. So that's why I decided to like, why not create an application or a system that can actually connect me as a passenger to the taxi drivers or to the taxi cabs. Yeah, so that's why I started creating my cab. Yeah.
During this time, I just like to clear, like during this time, we're there because we now live where the Ubers
Where
and the
Uber
Grabs
and
are.
Grab, yes.
Where are these company back then?
Uh, Back then, I don't think they're here already, because at that time, like, smartphones are not even there. Like my solution, it's through SMS.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like because
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah. This is cool. This is really cool.
no, because
Yeah.
I'm into like telephony. My industry is telephony. My day job before. So like,
So what your solution was, because I haven't seen the first version. I've only used the current version, the app version.
Yeah.
So what was your solution? Was it like texting?
texting. So there's an SMS gateway. Like you'll send that query to that gateway, and then the server will answer, will verify your location, and then it will actually connect you to the driver. So
I
like,
see.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Purely SMS.
Pretty manual for at that time.
So this is back in 2012.
Not 2012. 2012, it's the app already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like formalized that there's this company. I need to create this into a company.
But
So
before
that's
then,
it.
it was just text.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you walk us through from the point where you're working on this solution up until the point where you thought, well, this is gonna be real, and I need to get serious with this.
Because at 2012, like I see it as a sign actually, because 2012 smartphones are starting to come out. Like there's iPhone, there's Android, and I can actually use Google Maps. So like when I like found out about the smartphones, like how easy it is for me to actually build my solution on this platform. So that's why I decided that I need to I need to revisit the plan and then create an actual application based on that. Yeah.
I'm actually wondering. So this could have been like even before Grab or Uber even existed. I'm not so sure though. I don't have the history of Grab or Uber. But the thing is, it was first in the Philippines. This was
this was the first.
This
actually,
was yeah. So
The other thing, Dave, is that they have a totally different business model with the Grabs and Ubers.
Yeah.
That-
before or
Right now.
right
Right
now.
now.
So,
yeah,
so that's the thing. It's I just like to clarify that, because that I have the same impression when I started.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is like another hailing application.
Right.
But then when I talked to Eddie about it, I realized like it's a different game altogether.
All right.
So
Okay.
maybe you can explain
Yeah.
that.
Because basically, like I'm coming out as a passenger, no. Like I created the solution because I have some real problems as a passenger. So for me, like the solution is like I don't want to pay also. Like I don't want to pay that much to use that application. So that's why Micab, the way we created it in terms of our revenue stream, it's through advertising. So we're actually providing the system to the taxi drivers, to the passengers for free. And then whatever like income that the drivers or the partners will get, it's all on them. No, we earn through advertising. So currently, what we're doing, we're providing tablets in the taxi cabs, and then if there's no passenger, it will act as a cab hailing device for the taxi drivers. When
So-
This works only for taxi drivers, or is it?
for
for
the
private
Micab
cars?
application, yeah, it's
for taxis.
It's for
It's for
taxis.
taxis.
Yeah.
So where is the electronic pad or
tablet.
tablet
It's
located,
in the
located
dashboard,
on
front
in
front.
the front of the
Yeah,
car,
yeah, yeah.
and then it plays some
It plays some advertising when the passenger is already
on.
in the
Oh,
cab. Yeah, yeah.
interesting. So you get to like display the
Right.
ads inside the car.
Inside the car.
So-
Yeah.
Inside the car. It's not outside
And-
like what some of the cabs do have, right?
Yes, like
Yes,
outside they have
back
the
at
back,
the back,
right?
converges
Yeah,
and all those.
and then I also see old school ad way,
Traditional.
where they would traditional where they would.
Yeah.
You see that, or you can like
Hotel rates. And
hotel
all.
rates and get a massage and whatever, what have you, right? So, but here's the thing: if I'm what's this? I'm a company and I'd like to get my name, my service out there, I can just go to Micab and say, I want to be. How many taxis there right now using this?
Currently, after because we're currently doing our deployments in Manila, no. So the target in Manila at October it's 3,000 cabs. Here, I think it's around 2,000 cabs.
Okay, so
At the
that's
end of
2,000,
October, yeah.
3,000, that's 5,000 cabs.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm a company and I'd like to get my word out there,
You want to promote the big picture? There?
yeah, in big picture, for example, and we wanna get a spot from from
How
Eddie.
does it work? How does it work? Like,
Does it like is it like transmitted?
It's non-traditional.
Over-
No, because the traditional it's like example LED billboards in the street. Like it play on
Okay,
loop.
gotcha.
on a loop? Yeah.
That's the traditional model. What we're actually providing is using the same concept of like Google advertising or Facebook advertising, wherein advertisers can actually like select the demographics, the time, the location, or what have you, and then the budget. So it's prepaid budget, and every time your advertising will show up on the cabs, then you need to pay. So it's on-demand advertising.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it is also. Do you have a way to determine like, oh, the person who booked this cab is like a 30-year-old to 40-year-old women, and they probably need
Yeah,
this and that.
How can you tell that?
So because basically, when you register through the app, like you need to input some details for yourself, right? And sometimes people actually like connect via the app using Facebook or
Facebook,
something.
yeah.
So with Facebook, like through their APIs, although anonymously, they'll be sharing some details. So we'll be using
That's
that
what they're
details, just what they're doing. Like they're actually using that details
Yeah.
for us to like target the advertising that the passenger will be interested in.
In terms of
Yeah.
relevance,
Yeah, in terms
it's
of
very
relevance.
important.
Yeah.
Like if you're an 80-year-old woman and the advertising is birth control pills, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, right.
So-
So it's targeted advertising.
I don't know why I
Started.
that came out. But you see, I'm just pointing out the obvious. So, okay, so now Eddie, you started 2012, right? 2012.
Right. Yeah.
What were the difficulties that you experienced, or were there difficulties?
Yeah, I forgot to mention 2012. The reason why it started actually, it was actually my masteral thesis. So, and
All
then
right.
from
In CIT.
in CIT still,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
So from the thesis, since the application is there, that's why I started to make it official, like create a company out of it. Yeah. But anyway, some challenges, like we started the company, like actually it's just me,
Wait,
and then I found
wait for a
my-
second. So it's a thesis. How did you fund this thing?
Well, it's my thesis, so I have to.
So on your own.
I have to,
Self-fund.
I have to
Okay.
fund it myself. But after after that, I met Kenneth, my co-founder, so my CTO. So
Right.
actually, both of us are the one who created the prototype.
Are you both students, or where is he? How old is he?
When you met them, yeah.
When you met him?
He's older than me. I've actually met him during one of the startup weekends event.
Oh.
I
So
see.
we're not classmates or anything. We don't
Alright.
know each other at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I met him at the time, and then I told him the story of Micab, and then he's very interested, and we decided to create the actual like application and then pitch it to our initial seed funders.
Yeah. All right. So how did the VCs? Are they VCs or the
Seed
angel
funders, like-
seed funders? How
seed
did
funders,
the seed
angel.
funders
Yeah.
reacted?
Can you like differentiate what seed funders are?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that a little
That's a
bit.
nice topic. Right?
Let's talk about that. So, because I only know the guys from Shark Tank. No, just kidding. No, the VCs and
Seed
angel
funders are
investors.
your friends, like they're
Okay.
your friends,
Friends
who
and
has- who
families.
has money, and then
Yeah.
So like
Gotcha.
private lending or something like that.
Yeah.
They
Not-
provide
Is it
you-
lending or
not
No, not
lenders,
really.
but yeah, like your friends. Like example, we're friends, right?
Yeah.
I'll pitch
And-
you since you have this money. I'll convince you to like invest that money to me since
Yeah.
we're friends.
How does that work? Like, do you get them equity, or
Equity,
do you
yes,
promise them
definitely equity.
to return
Yeah.
the money?
Equity,
Yeah.
And also like, do they have like a fixed amount to you?
It actually depends on you because you
How
need
much?
to justify why are you asking this amount and what will you do with this amount and the ROI for them, like that's very important. Yeah.
Back in 2012, were there like pitches competition just like right now, where it's probably more frequent now?
I think there is, yeah, because I met Kenneth one of the events, like Startup Weekend. So it's
Okay.
actually a pitching like event. I
Okay,
pitched my
gotcha.
idea there and then I met Kenneth.
I see. So why did you pick Kenneth? What's the qualities that you see in him?
Well, actually, like at that time, there's lots of people who join, but you can see through the traction, like who will be like actually doing this with you, right? So at any point in time, like Kenneth is there, he's really very serious. You can see it. So that's why it's Kenneth.
I see. Right. So now you have your co-founder, and then you've got some money from your first pitch. What happened?
Yeah, so after that, since we have the money to actually finance our not the technology because it's there, but we need some devices like the smartphones that before the model it's smartphones, the tablets. So we need to have something to buy for the smartphone. So we use that money. We bought around like 20 smartphones, installed Micab in it, and then pitch it to one of the taxi operators here in Cebu. So Ken Taxi. So he's the one who we approached first. Then he really liked the idea.
So how did you do the pitch? Did it have a trial run? Like, okay, here are the 20, and then let's try it out.
Yeah. So it's actually like we presented the concept first, how it works, what's the advantages, like if you have this application, and then we need to do a test run. Yeah. So after test run, they're very impressed with the technology, with the application.
I have a little bit different question because you said you pitch it to one of the like is it the biggest?
The biggest in Cebu, yeah.
The biggest in Cebu, Ken Taxi. Are they hard to reach? I mean, because sometimes you have this idea and I've gone through I have an experience where they're actually hard to get a book. You book a meeting with them. Is it the same experience or different?
It's the same experience. Like actually, it's a very funny story because like it's a complete cold call. Like we call their manager.
Yeah.
And then we started already the deployment, and the manager's very happy. And then like I think one of the newspapers here, Sunstar, covered that that
and Ken
event.
didn't know.
And Ken read it from the newspaper that his taxis is actually using these apps.
Really?
So he called a meeting. Like we're there. We told him the story. And he's very happy. He's
Okay.
actually one of our angel investors.
Wow. All right. That's so. You would say that getting this validation from Ken was. Is it like one of your major milestone?
Yeah, because basically Ken is actually our target market. Like he's the one, like in terms of stakeholders, like it's the taxi operators that are your partners.
Yeah.
And since he shows that it's a very like he's impressed, it's a very needed a solution to their existing problems. So it's like a validation that the taxi industry really needs this solution.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So from what I'm getting, because this is the first time I've met Eddie actually, and from what I'm getting from his story, so there was this from the earliest days of Micab, which you did on your own without your partner. So you were actually doing the booking kind of service, right? So through text,
Through SMS, yeah.
and technology came in with the smartphones, and you realized or you saw the opportunity to somehow change it. I just have one question though. Since that time that was SMS, and there came the technology, and why didn't you continue to become like the booking? Was it because of there was a Uber or Grab that came in, or
Not
can you
really.
tell me
Like I think the first company that got in here in the Philippines is 2014 Grab. So like it's
so Grab came in
far
first.
like 2014, and that time it's 2012 when I started creating the application.
So you were
right?
actually the first.
So so the main reason actually like it's SMS is very unreliable, right? Sometimes it gets in your phone, sometimes it gets in 30 minutes after.
Yeah.
So it's very unreliable. Like you're searching for a taxi, you're needing a taxi, and then passengers will just be disappointed because the text didn't push through. Yeah, so that's why when the smartphone arrived, that technology, it's real time. So
With the internet.
With the internet, it's real time.
mobile
So
data.
it really makes sense
Yeah.
to do that application because you
Yeah.
need it now. It's on demand.
So you actually you did not from SMS you did not switch smoothly to the date.
It's a complete revamp.
It's a complete revamp, right?
Yeah.
But you did not because Grab came in. Was it a reason that you did not
Not really, because
through
Grab came in, like we know them very late. And like the application is there already, actually.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you're now an advertising company. From what I get it.
Yeah.
So
As a
yeah,
revenue.
that's the simplest definition of it.
But what's the, because you mentioned, off camera that you were thinking of like using the fees, the booking fees as part of your business strategy,
Yeah.
and then you switch now to advertising. What was the
Yeah.
motivation?
We started our model, like we charge service fee. We call it service fee before. Like when we booked you a ride, you need to pay us, like I think that's 10 peso before. No.
The SMS.
No, for the application, right? So the business model is through booking fees. We earn through
This is
booking fees.
2012.
2012, yeah,
Okay.
because we're providing smartphones to the taxi drivers. So pretty similar to the current situation now with the TNCs, right? And we need to earn. But the thing is, we're located in Cebu, and as you know, the Cebu market is very difficult to like let them pay actually. So
I think that goes on to all across the Philippines.
no,
I
actually,
heard in Manila it's okay.
in Manila it's different.
Oh, because you actually have taxis in Manila where they charge you like $50
Yeah.
additional for
Yeah.
just to go inside whatever road, right?
Yeah.
So if they would sell this in Manila and they would ask for 10 pesos,
It's okay.
nothing.
But here,
But
like,
here it's you can spend like 10
Yeah.
pesos for
So-
someone to call you.
with sustainability in mind, because we need to earn, we're a business in the first place. We started thinking about how we can add value to the product, like what's another revenue stream that we can add in. So we decided, instead of smartphones, why not tablets on the dashboard? Then offer advertising services. So basically, it's the advertisers who is subsidizing the passengers' ride, right? So,
Interesting.
yeah.
And then did this came up before Ken or after Ken?
After Ken, yeah, because like we have to test it ourselves. So when we deployed it, we found out that it's really very hard to ask additional like fares or additional fees for the passenger. So that's why we pivoted.
Okay, so like right now, can you like describe to me the business model of
For
the
the-
existing company, right?
Yeah.
So like where does the money come from, and
Mhm.
is it from the guys who want to advertise, or is it from the passenger, is it from the
Yeah.
driver? So can you like explain that?
So the business, it's like what we're providing. We call it like Facebook advertising or Google advertising in the physical world.
Yeah.
So why that? Facebook or Google advertising, they do it in your mobile and your websites, right? And then you pay. Advertisers pay every time, like it's per impression. Every time you see this advertising, like
Or when you click it.
yeah, when you click it, Google will bill that advertiser. So it's the same concept. We think like why not put it on the physical world instead of just sitting there in your mobile phone, right? So since we have this tablet, why not create an interface for the advertisers to actually select their demographics, select their budget, their location, their time, and all of these details, and then like do a bidding, advertising bidding. So like they actually pay on demand, like they pay per impression now.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you have a way to track those impressions?
Yeah, of course. So same engine with what they're doing now with the mobile.
Oh, interesting. So like example, if I'm a customer, if I'm a someone who wants, yeah, we asked this actually, but like how much would we like consider, like how much would you pay for?
It actually depends, but we have to set a minimum, right? Like for example, if the demand is high, maybe like 50 cents per impression, 1 peso per impression, it depends. But the minimum is like you can actually like advertise through Micab with 50 peso like money. Put
Really
in the
no?
budget, yeah.
And you could like quit afterwards.
Yeah, because it's
Maybe
on
we can
demand.
try that out.
You just pay per impression.
All right.
So if you think
We'll
it
have
doesn't
a
work,
100 peso
will
budget
we'll have to
for
try that out.
the big picture.
it's like Facebook, right?
Watch out,
You're
Micab people.
you're boosting your page for like 100, 200. It doesn't matter. So you'll see the results.
I'm
ASAP.
seeing this like it could work for contractor companies here, real estate.
Right,
So
right.
many people could
Yeah,
apply to this service, and they could do it for such a slow.
Yeah,
amount.
I'm curious. Like who right now? I don't know if you can answer this, but if you can, who are the companies that are advertising now? Do you know?
We actually started it in Cebu, right?
Yeah, in
So that's
Cebu.
our initial customers. So the thing is, since we're just in Cebu and actually in Iloilo, we cannot get nationwide companies. So all we got is like hotels, restaurants
Right.
locally because
That's good.
that makes sense.
Are you not in Davao also?
Not yet in Davao.
Not yet.
So that's why we decided to be to scale in Manila because we need all those big companies to advertise with us, and for us to advertise with them, we need to have like presence nationwide. Yeah.
So going back to, I've asked this, and I don't know, maybe you can re-elaborate your answer. What were the hardships that basically that you experienced?
Well, first, as a startup, like I think this is common to like so many startups here in the Philippines is access to capital, because basically the concept is very new.
Yeah,
and
how can you make them believe?
yeah,
in you?
so like for example, I'm just very lucky actually that I have some good friends that believed in me at first, like my seed funders, and then next
Still
is
believe in you now, right?
yeah, they're very happy. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, and then like our first partner, Ken Taxi. Yeah, so they're very important because they've given us enough resources for us to continue like developing the product, because it's a process. Like you cannot create like a month or 2 months old product and then it will fly, right? It's a continued process. So that's one. And the next is the team, like getting the right people. Because like knowing that you have in terms of resources, funding, like it's not that much, so it's very hard to find people who will stick thick and thin through thick and thin. Yeah. So basically that's it, funding and your team, the people that's behind our
I
company.
do have a question. What's your team look like? How do
Currently
you
we
manage
have
this kind of company?
because currently we have two departments. There's operations and R&D. R&D we have around 13 people, 13 14 people.
They're,
And then
they're working in an office? Here in
office,
Cebu?
yeah, we're actually located in UP,
UP.
TBI.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you guys have an office here, but
An
you don't
office,
have an
yeah.
office in Manila.
Uh, we're we're looking at an office in Manila because there's marketing and operations
Yeah,
there.
so
But as of
You
now,
have
yeah,
agents there.
we
basically.
have people there also.
All right. So basically, I have this. So you have this challenges. Now I'm curious to know if you don't have anything to add. What's your future? What can you see Micab growing in the next 2, 3, 5 years?
Because Micab, we call it an on-demand platform, so it actually not service just the cabs or not even transportation alone, but anything that needs connection in terms of consumers and service provider. Like if you're a consumer and you need to be connected to a service provider, for example, in this case, taxi cabs, taxi drivers, and passengers, it can actually be applied to different verticals. Like I think I've mentioned it already on the public. Like we'll be outing our own like shipping and logistics application. So it still works using the Micab on-demand platform. And then there's a healthcare application connecting patients to doctors. So
Wow,
that's
that's
the
big.
future. Basically, anything that needs connection in terms of service providers and consumers. Yeah.
So that's really.
Yeah, so
Big.
that's exactly how I reacted when he talked to me. He told me about the plans and
Because you could replicate,
and these are not plans anymore, right? These are already products that
there's
are
already
on
products.
development.
There's
They're
three
about to go out in the
about to
market.
go out, yeah. Like next month, we're targeting to let out our cargo application,
Yeah.
and then we're starting our healthcare application now. So hopefully next year.
Wow.
Interesting.
So you see, that's exactly what I'm feeling like. Oh my goodness, this guy is doing like a lot of things now, and there's a lot of projects and these are healthcare application. I was talking to Eddie off camera, and I told him like, that's really a big what's this business, and I know there's been a lot of push in terms of unifying these health applications, right?
Right.
Like there has to be a standard, and
Yeah.
is that what you're looking also into?
Yeah, basically. So in terms of, because our model on different verticals, it's a joint venture. So we do joint venture with existing companies who is very competitive on that verticals. For example, for our cargo application, it's Gothong, so they're a shipping company, and we're partnering with one of the biggest HMOs in the Philippines now for our healthcare application. But the goal is to really like include all major HMO players. So that's the goal of our healthcare application.
Right. So, just a couple more questions. One is, who are your role models? Who, like, cause you came in as a very young entrepreneur. You're figuring everything out. I would imagine that someone is probably there you can consult to.
Actually, there's two, but I think they're pretty related. So one is Nikola Tesla, because I'm a geek.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Next is Elon Musk. So they're
Yeah, they're
Pretty-
pretty.
Oh
Very
yeah.
related.
So that's why you're building, these things. That's really cool. Really cool. Okay. So now looking into the future, what are the things that you have in the horizon? You're talking about healthcare. These two things that what are the things in the horizon for you?
Currently, in terms of verticals, so these are the cornerstones of Micab actually as a holding company or as a company in itself. So we have on-demand platform, which is Micab Transport, MyCargo, or any on-demand applications will belong to. We have uh, we have e-wallet system. So after this, we'll be going into payment system, and the next advertising, of course. So that's one of our revenue stream, right? And then delivery and logistics is a pretty different game. So it's another cornerstone also in the company.
Do you have time to look at all this, or because it's
pretty complex.
Yeah, pretty complex.
Those are big sectors of
Yeah.
the business.
It's all big, yeah. But if you find the right partners in terms of per vertical, it will be very easy.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
we're a technology company. Our expertise is into technology. In terms of domain expertise in every verticals, we have partners who can help us with that.
Gotcha. So that's
Yeah.
it. That's a really
I
good
think those are
strategy.
like a key
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
their success
Right.
right now.
Dave,
So-
any other question?
So do you want to wrap this episode up?
Yeah, we usually wrap this up with the things that
like,
we've
we
learned
learned.
during
Okay.
the interview, and then we go to the next phase.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can start.
Yeah. So while listening to Eddie here, I think I just got it just from the last parts with what he said, is that you partner with the right people, key people in the industry, and it's amazing that you've mentioned Ken, Gothong, and those are like the big companies here, and you just go straight to them and mean business, and you did get them right. So I think there's really potential in MyCab. I could see a bright future. So yeah, I think the one key here is to just be gutsy. Just go to the
Yeah.
go to those people. It's amazing what happens next. So when you have if any one of you has a service as a company that wants to really leverage your business, I think that's one key aspect that you should learn to just go to those businesses and make partnership, and as long as you're of course with integrity and you have a good vision for whatever you're doing. So that's it.
I'd like to comment on his learning.
As what I want to add, like the worst thing that can happen actually is they say no, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's
So,
okay. It doesn't lose
nothing
you
to
any
lose.
money.
Nothing to lose.
Gotcha. On my part, I'd like to share two things. One is grit. Grit. So it's just really interesting that your story. What I've gotten from your story, you started with an idea and then you think it's not gonna work. You just make sure, okay, I'll just switch a little bit, pivot it, and then find something that works, and then really just sticking to it, because you started 2012, right? With 2012, it's almost 5 years, 7 years, maybe.
Mhm.
You're looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
We're looking at 7 years of effort, and now you're partnering with major taxi operators, making sure that your product like gets a really good traction, right? And without grit, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think if you're faint of heart, you would definitely stop. And a couple of things is it's really just the desire to make things happen, because I think that's what we lack. Sometimes we like anything that would discourages us. A lot of people will just quit in the first discouragement or give up in the first discouragement. But I think part of building your own business is to get used to the fact that you will get discouraged, and all you need to do is just to make things happen and find a way around it. If you have any comment to that.
Yeah, I think it's very important to focus on sustainability actually, and then you need to accept your mistakes or your failures, and you need to move on. So
Right.
yeah.
All right. And we're here for
Our
lightning round. So Eddie will be asking you 5 questions and
Real quick,
quick answer.
Quick answers.
Yeah. And you have a little bit of preview, but nevertheless, you didn't memorize all the questions we did. So we'll start with the first question. Who inspires you?
Well, I say it's what. So it's the problem, solving the problem. That's what inspires me.
That's a really nice answer. So yeah, because that's actually I have to add on to this, because that's why entrepreneurs succeed, because they solve problems. They're basically solving problems. So.
Yeah.
So the next question is, what keeps you focused, or focused on the goal? What motivates you, or what keeps you
I think knowing the risk, like risk of failure, so that keeps me focused.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
No, like knowing the risk of the risk of failure. Like if you fail, what will happen? So you need not to fail. So you need to focus. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So, do you consider yourself successful?
Oh no, not yet. I'm just starting. Yeah.
All right. And last, but is this the last question? I think it's
How many questions was that?
I think it's the last question.
So no, actually there's one more. So we have a lot of, our target market
forget
is,
this.
yeah. So we have a lot of brothers and sisters working like 9 to 5 jobs so hard, and most importantly those who work outside of the country, leaving their families and loved ones here in the Philippines just to earn the money. So, and you are here actually doing the things that you love, and making big dreams so happen. So what is like your message to them? So if you have one message or
Still
tip.
lightning round, right?
Yes. So
Yes.
Save
you
up.
You could elaborate.
Save up and come here in the Philippines. Do business here in the Philippines.
All right. And then lastly, where can people find you?
Facebook. Yeah.
So can you give us a URL or
URLs.
It's very complicated. Like
is there a URL for Micab?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's micab.co. Like facebook.com/micab.co.
And then in Facebook, they just search your name, Eddie
Yeah.
Ybañez.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we
then
will
how many
provide
Eddie?
all of
How
those
many
links.
Eddies? How did Eddie
There's a lot.
Ybañez?
It's a very common name.
you would find him because he's smiling with a black and white.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Profile, just
we can
kidding.
find all of those links, any
Yeah.
resources.
They
that we
will do
mentioned.
the
That would be the
Show notes.
bigpicture.ph/episode 14.
14.
All right.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Eddie, thank you so much for
Thank you.
guesting here, and we're excited for you. We're excited for the things that you're doing, and we're always Dave and I were always excited talking to people who are making difference and inspires us. Yeah, they're fueling us. All right.
I think if I were to answer that question, what motivates me, I think this is what motivates
Yeah.
me. So you should watch actually, because yes, you don't know that story of that person would actually change your life.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
yeah, keep on hanging out with our shows so that you would learn a lot of things on how people are being creative and
Right.
earning money, or making solutions in the country. So
Yeah, find us in the Big Picture Philippines in Facebook, and our web URL is thebigpicture.ph. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is episode number 14, and we'll see you when I see you in maybe episode number 15.
all
Goodbye.
right, bye-bye.